Hi everyone. This video is about a tongue technique to make the tongue more supple and more receptive. I'm a heterosexual woman. Having sex with men, what I notice most common is this probing type of tongue where they're reaching through the center of the tongue. It kind of comes out like that, like a rod, very pointed. This will happen during kissing, during oral sex, which can be very uncomfortable. And then sometimes during intercourse when they're trying to pay attention to two different parts of the body. So all attention goes down south and you're left with this tongue kind of holding place in your mouth. For those of you that don't have a vagina, how do you imagine what it's like to have an orifice and someone maybe sticking their tongue in there? What would feel good and what might not feel good? I think the closest comparison would probably be the ear. You can imagine someone licking your ear or just sticking their tongue straight in your ear, which feels better in a softer tongue, or someone just jamming their tongue into your ear. So hopefully this technique will help you discover a more receptive tongue, which will make you more sensitive to pleasure and more sensitive to the subtle energies of your partner's body and their cues, and just also pleasure. I find being more receptive to touch creates a greater sensation of the touch. So along with creating greater sensitivity for you, it will create a greater sensation for your partner. So the probing tongue that I'm speaking of has a more masculine energy to it. And by masculine, I mean that it's directional. You can think of masculine energy like a starlight, like a star, a light beaming through the sky. And feminine energy would be the sky itself, that encompassing openness that this beam of light can travel through. So masculine energy is very directional, it has a force to it. So we're trying to just soften that force in order to have a greater interaction between the two energies. So the probing tongue has a very masculine directional force to it, sticking out, extending forward. What I'd like you to try is, while extending the tongue, reaching out through the sides of the tongue rather than from the center. Kind of imagining even maybe that your tongue is split in half and you have two tips rather than one going out to the side rather than the center. So it'll look less like this and more like this. So I'm reaching through these points. Yeah. And this softens the tip of the tongue, makes it more receptive, more able to feel and sense the curves of the body, the softer tissues. And it's more pleasurable to receive something more receptive than kind of charging and forcing through these soft and sensitive areas. So you can try this out on your hand, just feeling the difference of the force of the tongue with the probing tongue, and then the softer tongue where you're reaching through the sides of the tongue. And just noticing the different qualities. So this just creates a tool for your toolbox, kind of like having paintbrushes with different bristles for different types of surfaces, and knowing when it's most appropriate to use them, what might be more complementary, and also what helps you connect better in those moments, and kind of trying and playing with that. So I encourage you to try this receptive tongue technique, and I hope that it enhances the quality of your sensual and sexual endeavors.